guys, welcome or welcome back. If you're new here, I'm glad you found me. I go by Zeus Diary online. I'm filming this video during my lunch break now. FYI, I am someone working 100% remotely unless I travel for work. And the reason why I'm sitting down here is because I'm heading to my Hermes local boutique here in Luxembourg to bring them my vintage Constance bag for the spa. And I just thought I would film like a before and after, and then we're gonna see how things go. So maybe a bit of background. I bought this bag vintage, I think it was over a year ago, give or take, so last year, and I love it. What I particularly love about the bag is the combo. It's an 18, which is rare, or a mini Constance for a vintage bag, and it is in box leather and with gold hardware. I am not by all means a gold hardware girly. I would oftentimes gravitate towards silver jewelry because I like chunky pieces or white gold jewelry. But when it comes to Hermes vintage pieces, I think that there's nothing that hits like a heritage leather with a gold hardware and or rose gold hardware. The reason why I'm filming this is because in terms of scratches, as per se, there aren't that many. That's not really a concern of mine on the bag. I have some, I don't know if you'll be able to see them. Let me show you. I have some scratches that I see when I come really closer. To be honest, it was well maintained when I bought it, and I think the bag is 29 or 30 years old. Even inside, I don't really have scratches from the prior owner. No, there are some scratches. There are some scratches that I can see, but you know, I managed to buffer them and also to kind of give them a patina because I'm using these cleansing wipes from Havre Deluxe, and it's really a game changer for me. And to be honest, I do not baby this bag. One might say then, why are you taking this to the spa? It's because of the length of the strap. On the vintage Hermes Constance bags, the strap is shorter. The real thing that I would like for Hermes to do for me is to order a strap that has the same length as the new Constance bags. If I manage to place that order, there is no need for me to get another Constance bag, unless it's maybe an exotic leather, maybe vintage or something like that. I love this bag, but now I am restricted because it is simply for me something that I wear like this. What I'm really trying to achieve here is to replace this strap. So it's gonna cost me a bit of money, but I'm happy to pay for it because then there's no need for me to buy another Constance bag. So this is how it looks, and yeah, this is where it hits when I wear it here. And I want it to be lower because if I do this, oops, you see, then it just hits my boob, and then yeah, it's kind of not sexy. Yeah, I'm gonna report and keep you posted, so talk to you later. You have the Zeus Diary in the past that told you that I sent my bag to the spa. So what is happening is that the bag is back. I'm gonna run you through, and I'm having my phone in my hand, timeline, and tell you more about it. So as I mentioned on the prior video, it was October 7th, if I'm not mistaken. I dropped my bag off at the store to be spa'd, and they told me that they would contact me to give me a quote and whatnot. Full disclosure, it's not the first time that I send something to the spa, but it is the first time that I'm documented and kind of assess how long it takes. So went there, all went well, and I'm just checking here the email that I received to give you a timeline here, which is going to be okay. 1, 2, 3. Too many MS related emails. I plead guilty. This is ridiculous. Okay, I found it. Got an email on the 13th of November, which is, let's say, 3 weeks and a half-ish afterwards with the quote. So there were a couple of things that they've suggested. So the first one would be like cleaning the bag and also replace the clasp and also replace the straps. And if I were to do all of it, it would cost a certain amount, but in the meantime they would offer me, I think the cleaning if the bill were above 1,200 euros. The big piece here would be to change the clasps, the H on the Constance bag. That was 805 euros, so that hurt. And if I were to replace the strap, that would be 495 euros. So if I were to do those big changes, they would do like the cleansing for free, because then the bill would be over 1,200 euros. When I received that quote, it was kind of aligned with what I had in mind, so I answered back and I said, yeah, I'm okay with it. However, I've asked if they could extend the strap, because this is a vintage design, and I wanted them to confirm that they would do that. I sent that email the same day, on the 13th of November. The following day, I got a response from my store stating that they don't have that intel and that they're going to check. And then the following week, 18th of November, 4 days later, I got an answer stating that they didn't want to change the length of the strap because it would kind of change the identity of the bag, because it was designed that way. So that was up to me, right? And then I decided to get the strap switched anyway. So a few things here. As I bought the bag vintage, right, the fact that the bag was sent to the spa and the fact that I got a quote, it's already a great comfort that the bag is original. So that was the first thing I was pleased with. The second thing as well is that, and I think that this is something that I did not mention, or I forgot to mention, the clasp on the bag had loads of scratches. I put protective plastics on it, and because of that, it was kind of hiding the misery. So when I filmed the video, I completely forgot about it. But when I went at the store, and that they were kind of inspecting it before sending it to the spa, they had to remove the plastics that I put on them, and I said, yeah, that is fine, because anyway, it reminded me that I wanted to change like the H buckle. So that was in November, and I was given like 20 weeks in average time frame for the bag to come back. So last week, mid-March-ish, I got a call from Hermes on the Saturday. I was busy, I did not pick up, and early this week, on Monday, I contacted them and they told me it was just to let you know that your bag is back from the spa. So when I look into it, I'm not sure that I'm within the 20 weeks. The timeline was quite reasonable, so I was just quite pleased. And then they reminded me as well of the amount of the bill. Okay, now that we have the storyline out of the way, here is the bag. So I got a new dust bag, but what I appreciate is the fact that they did not destroy the old dust bag that I originally had. So here is the bag now in all its glory. I'm not quite sure that you'll be able to see. I'm just coming closer. As you see, I have now a new, the hardware. They changed the hardware, and I just realized, and that's great, that they also changed the hardware here. I did not realize that, but this is changed. So they changed the hardware here as well, that holds the strap, and they also changed here the buckle, obviously. And this is definitely different. I'm glad that I went for it. I removed the stickers afterwards, but now it feels like a brand new bag, so I'm just gonna leave it for a while. But I can tell that there are no scratches on it. With regards to now, I'm just gonna turn around here. I quite like this, and I think I'll keep it. The strap is still small, so as you see, for a vintage, I'm just gonna move the mic for a minute. Yes, we're back in business. So I was saying that because it's a vintage piece, the strap is really itty bitty. So for me, this is kind of a bag, and I'm just going to stand for a minute, that I wear like this. And because now the strap is new, it's quite stiff, as it is box leather, but I mean, that was predictable. So I should be using the bag extensively, and oftentimes I wear it like this, and I find that as a shoulder bag, the length is perfect in the Vintage Constance. The essay even told me that the interior was pristine and that it was amazing for vintage bags. And anyway, they do not spar the interior of the bag, so that's fine. And now when I look again, yes, I have a dent somewhere here. I'm not sure if you'll be able to see it in the camera. It's not a big deal because it's the back of the bag, but the leather itself is just so shiny. This is Mama's favorite of Hermes leather, so I'm really happy with it. In terms of damage, this spa repair cost me 1,300 euros. It's a big pill to swallow, but I have an appreciation of the fact that the whole hardware was changed. So the buckle here, but also here, which is great. And actually, you know what? Bear with me for a sec, because I just come to the realization of something.
A few moments later.
Oh, I'm sorry, guys. I'm officially back. First world problems. My house is on 3 levels. So the bag of the day that I was using was my De La Cavaliera, and I just come to the realization that they're more or less the same size and they kind of fit the same purpose. I think that it's a good idea to film like a comparison video, so I'll be doing it shortly. Honestly, this is one of the reasons why I just love Hermes as a brand. They assure the maintenance of their pieces, they stand behind the quality, and for me, this is priceless. When I say priceless, obviously it costs me a pretty penny, but if you were to think about, I don't know, the fact that this bag is 30 years old, and that in its 30 years old time, it is the first time that it undergoes a spa treatment, that is not bad. If I were the initial owner of this and that I had to pay 1,300 euros today for a facelift, I'll be happy with it. That's all I'm having for you now, and I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, let me know. So I'm gonna leave you there, and I see you in my next one. Bye!